Law enforcement in body armor escorting handcuffed people, flooding social media. But what's perhaps most consequential is language in the administration's executive orders. It's very intentional use of specific words that carry great power and authority for the president. Ernesto Castañeda is the director of the Center for Latin American and Latino Studies at American University. It's so nice to have you back, sir.
Thank you so much, Soledad.
When you look specifically at the executive orders protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats, what's the impact of the word terror and terrorist?
So terrorism is something that we know by experience. We know what that means very well. But that is not what organized crime based in Mexico and Latin America are doing. People do lose their lives. But the aim of the organized crime is not to take over any one government here or there. So therefore, it's a misnomer to call these horrible organizations, to call them terrorists. But for people already here, with this designation of people as coming from places when there's terrorist organizations, then it's easier to detain, to stop, to imprison, and to deport people without the regular due process that even foreigners are entitled to. So this makes these mass deportations that he was to do so much easier to carry out in this new legal framework.
Explain to me what the due process was before these executive orders.
People that had lived in the U.S. For a couple of years, even without undocumented status, they cannot just be grabbed and deported. They have the right to go to immigration court to present the case. Not that they're going to win it. Most of the time, they are deported anyway. But there is a system of laws that regulates how deportations happen. So that is what Trump is looking to do away with these executive orders that treat them now as enemy combatants so that they can be deported much faster.
The other word that I have found interesting is invasion. Why does framing this as an invasion in a way change the impact and the import of these executive orders?
Because he says there's an invasion, now he can say that there's a state of emergency and deploy active troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, and now using airplanes from the military for removals and deportations. But again, this is not true. Asylum seekers, immigrants, unaccompanied minors arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border, for example, they do not come bearing arms. They are not here to take over a territory and declare independence. So again, it's a misnomer, but again, it opens all this avenue for Donald Trump to use, for example, budget from the Pentagon, from defense, to engage in immigration enforcement.
What are your predictions about where this goes?
Trump also invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which says that during wartime only, the U.S. then has the right to detain and imprison and deport the foreign-born. But he has not formally declared war on any other nation. So we are not at wartime, so he shouldn't be able to do this. But he's already using the language of war and showing the images of the U.S. being at war. He's trying to invoke the feeling that we had after 9/11 when we were attacked, and that there was a rally around the flag and where the military played an important role in society. He's trying to go back to that to garner support for his cause. But we're living in a different reality today.
Ernesto Castañeda is the director of the Center for Latin American and Latino Studies at American University. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Soledad.